Hi, welcome to Gemini Star Spiritual Wellness. Thank you for joining me today for this video. So in today's video, we're looking at the astrological update for April 2026. We're going to look at the major transits coming in and how it might affect us with the energy. So let's go ahead and get started. But before we do, I just want to ask you that if you are not a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button so that you get future videos I put out. I do the astrological update every month at the beginning of the month, but I also have regular tarot readings I do throughout the month. And I am going to be doing some special tarot readings more this year, special topics throughout the year. I feel very called by spirit to do that, especially with the way the energy is going in 2026. It's pretty intense. So I'm feeling pretty drawn to do more special readings than I did last year in 2025. So look on the lookout for those. And please hit that like button so that this video will go out to other people that need to see the information. Because when you hit that like button, it will send it out to more people on YouTube. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, we're just going to cover the major transits. There's a lot going on throughout the month altogether, but I'm just going to hit the major transits just to keep the video to a, limited time span so it's not get too long. So starting right off the bat, April 1st, we've got today actually, we've got the Libra full moon coming in. And this full moon makes balance kind of front and center to maintain, because Libra is a very balanced sign. It's all about balance, and it's also about relationships. So basically, it's going to want us to have balance front and center. So it's going to make it more important in our lives, wanting to achieve balance, wanting to maintain it. And it's also maintain the balance for emotional security and stability. And it's also going to help us to gravitate to being, to peaceful surroundings and being calm and wanting to maintain that emotional security and stability through the balance. It also is going to help us be drawn to relationships during this time and spending more time with people in our lives that we care about and adding like a level of balance to those relationships. So it's going to help with that too, with the security and stability emotionally of our relationships. So that's coming in with the Libra full moon. Now, if we fast forward to April 9th, we have Mars enters into Aries. So this is really interesting because it's going to probably have a big, intense impact because Mars is, its home sign is Aries. So Mars rules Aries is what I'm trying to say. So it's going to have a big, energetic impact for us. So it's going to really kind of push us to take action, have, excitement. We'll have like newfound excitement comes in energetically. We'll be like out of nowhere. We might feel excited, motivated to move forward with things. And also have kind of like an enthusiasm that we might not have had before. Like maybe we were kind of sitting on things, ideas, thoughts, and all of a sudden we're having that motivation, enthusiasm, and feeling high energy to move forward with our ideas and thoughts that we might have been sitting on for a while. So it's going to really kind of push us forward. And one thing I really do like Aries season. I don't have any Aries in my chart, but I really like Aries because it's a fire sign, but also it's like the first zodiac sign of the year. And so it's all about pushing forward and taking action and moving forward. And I like it because it's like it really pushes in that new beginning of spring. And I really like spring. It's my favorite season. So it's, I really like how Aries kind of pushes us to move forward. And that's really going to be happening. We've got the balance with the Libra full moon. And then like a week later with Mars going into Aries, it's going to help us to push things forward. So maybe we need to balance things out for emotional security and stability before we move forward. So there might be a balancing going on before we move forward. Then on April 14th, we have Mercury goes into Aries, and that's going to be giving us even more energy to move forward and take action with ideas and plans that maybe we have been sitting on, and no more wasting time. It's like we're going to feel very inspired to move forward. And I kind of feel like, at least what I've been picking up on the last couple months, going like, Pisces season and Aquarius season, I definitely felt like a sense of kind of going within, doing a lot of spiritual work, which, Pisces is very spiritual, kind of working on our emotions and a lot of inner work and kind of sitting on things during those months. And then it's like Aries comes around, and I started feeling a push, like as soon as we kind of got into Aries season, I really started feeling a push, to go forward with ideas and plans that maybe I've been kind of percolating on for the last couple months. I mean, I felt it, by the third week of March. So I feel like in April, with those transits happening that I just mentioned, I feel like it's going to even push us even more, to move forward and to take action. On the 17th of April, we have an Aries new moon, and that's going to be a time of new beginnings and opportunities coming in. And with the energy of Aries, it's like now's a good time to move forward with these opportunities and new beginnings. So, say that, there's been an opportunity that's been kind of like brewing in the background for you, and it's slowly kind of coming, but maybe you didn't take it yet. Or maybe, you're thinking about a new beginning, or, a new beginning slowly coming in, but it's like you really haven't taken action on it. It's like with this Aries new moon on the 17th, it's going to want to push us forward with it to take those new opportunities and the new beginnings. So on the 19th of April, we have when the Taurus season starts. So that's when we shift into Taurus season. And Taurus is going to, like Aries is a push about, taking action. Taurus is kind of going to bring us in a more stability and security. So, like Taurus is very grounded. It's an earth sign. So it's not, you had the action of the Aries season, and now it's like you're regaining stability as you go into Taurus. So it's improved stability for ourselves and security. And then like a deepening connection to our values at that time during Taurus season, and you're feeling more confident. So maybe it's like you took some action during the Aries season, and then towards the end of the month when it goes into Taurus, it's like, okay, now you feel more confident because of what you accomplished over the last month. And now you can kind of restabilize your stability and improve it after what you just did over the last couple months by taking action. But what's really interesting with me about Taurus is that deeper connection to our values. And I can see how, with everything that's going on energetically globally, I can see how Taurus, is going to help us with that, because a lot of our values are going to be challenged from what they were, or we might be rethinking our values, or, trying to figure them out on a deeper level. So I can definitely see that happening during the Taurus season, especially now, because everything that's going on. So April 24th, we have Venus goes into Gemini. So this is Gemini is very big about communication. It's a very Gemini is very much in the mind. It's a mental sign. So it's a time of communication in relationships because it's Venus, and Venus rules relationships. So it's a time of, improving communication in your relationships. If you Okay, I'm hearing like maybe if you're not having good communication with somebody, it's going to improve during this time. And there's going to be more of a desire for improved communication and working things out with somebody. And there's going to be a mental aspect of it. So it's going to be like communication, but it's like, how can I say this? Like connecting on a mental level, like connecting with someone mentally, like on a mental level, intellectual level, and also really thinking about what you're going to communicate, because that's important. So really thinking through your words and what you're going to do and say before you do them. And it's going to be easier to talk to others during this time, and to connect with them, and have a greater understanding. So being able to see what the other person's perspective is more easily, being able to understand where they're coming from more easily. It's like all around deeper connecting and easier to understand with each other. So we have a big event happening on April 25th, and this is when Uranus goes into Gemini. Now, Uranus is a planet of change, and it's a big planet, and it's an outer planet. So Uranus brings in change, but because it's an outer planet, its transits are very like long and slow. So it's like change, but it's change that's going to take a while to happen. Not changes that happen real fast. So it's kind of like, and that's why they call them the generational planets like Neptune, Venus, and Pluto, because they're so far out in the solar system that, they can be in a transit for 20 years. So it's kind of like, it brings in change, but it's long lasting change. It doesn't go through it fast. So, affects change for long periods of time. So, with Uranus changing signs, and we also, because it's changing signs going into Gemini, but we also have Saturn, Pluto, and Neptune changing signs at the same time, which is all, kind of in the outer part of the solar system. So, that's going to really add some big energy shifts at this time, going from April 25th on, some big time energy shifts. So, Uranus in Gemini can basically, it's going to open our minds to new ideas and be more accepting of maybe controversial ideas and topics and have new views on things and being able to approach things differently and see things from a different way. So, if you maybe, it's like people won't be as closed-minded as maybe they had been in the past. They're going to be more open to controversial topics or ideas or content, and approach it from a better, like a, how can I say, more from a more open perspective than they have in the past. And it's also going to help us to focus more on our future. So that's interesting because of all the changes that are going on, and I foresee a lot of like powerful energy in April, with these changes continuing globally. That's really interesting with Uranus and Gemini because there's going to be a lot of new ideas and new topics and controversial topics and subjects that we need to discuss and think about and basically have a more open mind to, because a lot of information, I've been talking about this for a while in the tarot readings over, especially towards like fall to winter of 25, but definitely in 2026, I definitely see that being a year of disclosure. And that falls right into with Uranus being in Gemini. So it's like a lot of information is going to come out. Some of it might be controversial. Some of it might be stuff that, it's totally new concepts to that we've never heard of before or new topics. And it's like, but with this transit, it's going to help us to open our mind to those ideas and be more accepting of them than we might have been in the past. But I also like the idea of it forcing us to look forward to our future, because along with this information coming forward, all this disclosure, and old systems crumbling and falling away and new systems being built, we have to basically decide what that we want those new systems to be. So we have to decide, on the planet, how do we want Earth, what kind of direction do we want the Earth to go in as these old systems collapse? What kind of new systems do we want to have coming in? And what do we see as the future of Earth, as a global collective, but also for ourselves on a personal level, like focus on our own personal futures. Like, what do we see ourselves moving forward, and how do we want, who do we want to be in the future? What kind of things do we want to achieve? How do we want our future to unfold? So it's going to really help us with that, being able to focus on our future. So that's what I have for April 2026 for the main astrological transits going on this month. And it's going to be interesting because one thing I've been noticing is when I do the astrological research, and then, as I go, is like we get into April and I start doing the April tarot readings, a lot of times, I mean, definitely I can see a correlation from the astrological energy that's going on to what I'm seeing in the cards. Like, it happens all the time. Like every month I see that. And then I think to myself, oh yeah, I remember, like in March, I talked about these transits, and now I can see how it's coming out in the cards and it's falling in alignment with the transits that are happening. So it's just really cool that that happens. It always fascinates me how much they're in correlation with each other and how the energy, works together like that. But that's what I have for you for April 2026 for the astrological update. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.